Alright, welcome to the monthly miniature roundup with me, Zombie Sashimi, and it's been a bit more than a month since the last one of these. Sorry, summer is a very, very busy period for me in terms of work and life and everything that's going on. So my YouTube always takes a bit of a hit around the summertime. So sorry for missing so many months. It's now become more of a seasonal thing. But we're back on schedule. I'm going to hopefully be putting out a little bit more content again and sharing some stuff with you that's exciting in the miniature world of fun. So we're going to just jump straight into talking a little bit about Corvus Belli releases because this is the thing I'm kind of into. And the biggie one is that there's just been a release of a trailer for the new N5 box set that's going to be coming out called Sand Trap, which has Pan-O forces and JSA forces facing off against each other with 7 models per side. And it's looking pretty exciting. So let's just have a quick look at what we're going to be getting in that box in terms of the miniatures. And just, we don't have any stats or anything like that, so we don't exactly know how they're going to play. We can have some educated guesses, but we're mostly going to be looking at the aesthetics right now. So Pan-Oceania, they're going to be having a new sectorial, and their sectorial is the Kestrel Colonial Forces. Some people have been kind of joking that it's very close to KFC, it's KCF, and the fact that it's a kestrel as well as a bird, so it's like a fried chicken army. But beyond that, let's actually have a look at the models. We have the Fennec Fossilia. These are the line troops for the Pan-O army, the Kestrel Colonial Forces. And I really dig these guys. These guys look really, really awesome. I really like the fact that they have like the desert cap that they're wearing as well for the place that they're going to be fighting in. They look very Foreign Legion to me. Kind of like the old school Foreign Legion. I always remember like Laurel and Hardy when they joined the Foreign Legion, and I kind of get memories of that when I see them in those caps. But yeah, really cool models. I really like those ones. Nice line troopers. Really, really good for Pan-O. The Banshee. This one is a jump trooper. It has a really similar design in terms of its pose to the Rajik that was came with, I think, the Red Veil set, or at least the Beyond Red Veil set. I can't remember which. I think it was in the Red Veil set. It's very, very similar pose, but this time rather than Hakiz Alam, this one has obviously Pan-O aesthetics and generally a little bit more of a sleek design. So yeah, they look pretty cool. It's an alright model. I quite like that one. The Black AIR, this is a pretty cool model as well. I like this one. I love that full face visor. It's going to be a real challenge to paint, but it looks pretty cool. And you don't often see many of the miniatures kind of carrying their weapons as this one does. So standing at ease with the gun. Normally we get these poses of action or these kind of crazy like holding up the guns in weird ways that look very unnatural, but this one as a kind of an at ease kind of moment, it looks pretty cool. I quite like that design choice because we haven't really seen many models like that in that pose, so I think that's kind of cool. The Scarecrow, I'm not sure about this one. The whole leather hood and chest armor that's built into the helmet looks like a medieval piece of studded leather or something, and it just looks a little bit out of place on this, you know, future armored sci-fi warrior. So I just don't know about this one. I'm guessing he's like a scout unit and things, but yeah, I'm just not quite sold on the design. The Griffin is basically your heavy infantry Pan-O heavy infantry. He looks like an orc. I'm not really a Pan-Oceania aficionado, so I don't really know what much of the difference is, but for me, I would be confused as to what is an orc and what is a griffin. They look pretty similar. Still, kind of cool model, but just meh. JSA are also in the box. They're known as the Shindembutai, which roughly translates as kind of like shop Shock Troop Army. They have some pretty cool models. They're line troopers, the Senku troops. Really love this design. They have this kind of high collar environmental suit, and it just makes them look really, really unique on the table. It's kind of similar to the Aleph support lady. I forget her name, but she's got like the new model of that has kind of got the high collar, and I kind of like the design. It's a very kind of cyberpunky kind of look. It's pretty cool, and with the breathing masks as well. I like these guys a lot. I think they'll be a lot of fun to paint. We have the Raiden Seibutai, which are making a comeback from when they were discontinued, when the JSA got away from Yu Qing, separated from Yu Qing. So before, JSA were a sectorial that was part of Yu Qing as an army, and they had a whole bunch of different models that they would use. When the JSA left and became their own little thing in NA2, a number of models were discontinued, one of these being the Raiden Seibutai. So it's kind of nice to see them return, and the sculpt is very familiar to the old ones, just been updated with greater details and the kind of the modern styling of Infinity models. So it's a really cool one, and we get another brilliant missile launcher for the JSA, because JSA can't ever be without lots and lots of rocket launchers and missile launchers. They're fun. We also have this kind of medium infantry kind of ninja, which is the Nakizaru, which translates as roof monkey. I believe there was something about them in Naruto. I really don't know very much about that, but they're generally like the ninjas that will run across the rooftops and go through the windows of houses and things like that. It looks pretty cool. I quite like the sculpt. It's a pretty cool one, and it looks like he's kind of, if you look at the model on the video, now it's a little bit difficult because these are kind of like 3D scans, not actual photos of the models, but it looks like he is standing on the tip of a building on the sculpt. My feeling is also that this guy is going to have like climbing plus or super jump or something like that, you know. We can probably expect that as part of the unit profile, I think. But yeah, I'll be kind of interested to see where this one sits in the army. Kind of curious. Then we've got the Jizumodai Hanryodan. I really dig this sculpt. I think it looks really, really cool. It looks like it's heavily influenced by Kabuki. So you've got that, the big hair coming out the back, and there's almost like this face paint on the armored helmet as well, kind of reminiscent of Kabuki face paint. And then the pose itself as well is very Kabuki style, but with just swords. As a military piece, it's a bit unrealistic, but as a model to paint, as a cool reference to like Kabuki and stuff, I think it's a really cool model. I love that. It's awesome. And then finally, we've got the Hatamoto Imperial Guard. So the Hatamoto were traditionally samurai protecting a daimyo. And now this model it's heavily influenced by the Hatamoto of old in its design and things, as it has the helmet that's taking the shape of a traditional kabuto. In a way, it links in a little bit to that history, as these guys are basically the protectors of the settlements that the JSA are making on this new planet. So it's a pretty cool model. I'm digging the JSA especially. Pano is not bad. I think there's some pretty cool models in there for Pano. But yeah, I like it. It's going to be a really cool set. Yeah, I think I'm going to have to try and eventually get it one day, because it's looking really cool. And I just want more JSA. There's some other new models as well that have been released recently or coming out very soon. Those are also some more JSA with the reinforcements. There's also like they're releasing a Beast Hunter as well, which is very JSA. Even though I've got basically 5 Beast Hunters that I got through Tag Raid, I'm tempted to just pick this one up just for the fun of painting it. It looks really, really nice. And then talking of like tags, they are actually finally releasing a Trip Hammer, a repurposed tag for use in Infinity. So if anyone didn't get Tag Raid, they can get a dedicated Trip Hammer model, which is pretty cool. It looks really nice. But I already have basically 4 or 5 of these Trip Hammers, so I don't need to get any more. But it does look like a cool model. Then just to switch to other games, we've got Warcrow, of course, and I'm going to talk a little bit about Beyond Set in a minute. but just not quite yet. Right now, I'm going to be talking about the very new releases that have been previewed very, very recently. And those are 2 units, one for the Northern Tribes and one for the Hegemony of Embasig. These models look really, really cool, so I'm really excited to get a hold of these. So the Hegemony have a unit called the Bulwark, and these guys are basically like really heavily armored with a massive shield and a spear. It looks like they like to bait targets into them, and then the more units that surround them, the stronger their conquest becomes. So the idea for them is, yeah, to bait a charge, and then control places as long as they got supports around them. So I feel like they're kind of like a central unit. You move it up the center, you make sure there's stuff on the wings to really, really support them. So they look really cool. I think they're going to be a lot of fun. And then there's the Tundra Marauders for the Northern Tribes, which is more Varunk, which I'm really excited for, because I think the Varunk just look really, really cool. And that's kind of they're the big thing that pull me towards Northern Tribes, even more than the Orcs. The Orcs have been a lot of fun to paint, but I'm really excited to get some Varunk. So getting maybe the Tundra Marauders as well. I'll then have a kind of a 50-50 split of Orcs and Varunk, which is going to be awesome. So I'm very excited for these 2 sets. So when they go up for pre-order, I'm probably going to go ahead and just put an order in, because I can't help myself. Anywho, anyway, let's move on to stuff that I'm excited for. So again, Infinity, more Infinity. I've ordered the Torchlight Alpha expansion pack, and I'm looking forward to getting the Wave Rider, especially. That model looks really, really cool, and it'll just round out all of my Torchlight Brigade really nicely, so that it's just a nice solid force that I have that I can actually play with. Painting them is taking me forever, but I'm growing to really like the Torchlight Brigade, so I thought I'd go ahead and get that set, especially for that Wave Rider. It's really cool. I'm also eagerly awaiting all the things that are new for Infinity as well. So with N5 coming, there's some rules changes that have been talked about and some things to be looking forward to. So these are damage of weapons has been changed to probability of survival, which is just putting all of your dice rolls in line with across the whole game, so they're all easy to understand. Damage always was this completely different dice roll that had different rules set to it, where you're going over instead of under, and it was so confusing for new players and for even experienced players sometimes to just do the mental math that was needed. They've also adjusted like critical hits, so rather than having to do math of like, okay, so my close combat is 26, so that means I got a -6 from 20, that is a 14, so 14 and above, that would be a critical hit. They've done away with that, and they've done, okay, so you're 26 close combat, so that means if you roll a 1 to a 6, that is a critical. So it just makes it a little bit cleaner and easier to play the game. So I'm excited for those kind of nice cleanup changes that they're making to the game to make it a lot more approachable, to be honest. Wounds have also been switched to Vitality, again, just for clarity's sake, because you'd have wound tokens, and then models will have wounds, and then other models have structure, depending on if they're like a robot or a like a synthetic thing or something like that, versus a human or a creature with flesh. Just giving it like vitality and structure for the 2 different types of units makes it very, very easy, so that wounds don't get confused. You still have wound tokens and wound markers, but now it's vitality and structure, so there's no confusion of terminology. So I like that. That's nice. Vehicles are also being added. Now, it doesn't mean tanks. It doesn't mean big things. But it looks like we're going to be getting some like larger bikes, like some hover bikes or hover buggy type things, maybe. I'm not sure exactly how big, but they're going to be more lightweight, scooty kind of things. And we're going to be apparently getting drones as well. So it's going to be very, very interesting to see how drones work in the game. I think they're still kind of working exactly how they're going to be doing the drones, but that's going to be interesting to see how drones play in the game, because we've kind of got like the remotes have, in my mind, have always been Infinity's drones. But these ones are going to be flying and a little bit more zippier even than a lot of remotes are. So it's going to be curious to see how they work. There's also a new option being added for your command tokens, and that's called Speedball, where you basically airdrop items of use. So it could be like, I think like new weapons could be dropped in. So like you find yourself in a position where you have no options. You can spend a command token to re-equip a unit or a model to be able to then deal with the situation that they're in. So that's kind of like an extra option that you have with command tokens, which I'm all for. And it's a very obvious one to do. I always forget to use my command tokens for a lot of things, but that's something that will always be kind of playing in my mind. So I'm kind of like interested to see how that one works. I'm of course going to be very curious about how they revamp reinforcements and see if they can make reinforcements work properly. But we'll have to wait and see for a lot of this information. Warcrow I'm still excited for as well. Sorry, it's going to be a very Corvus Belli heavy one today. I've ordered the Beyond Winds from the North set, so I'll be getting some extra models hopefully soon. I cannot wait to play and paint them up some more. I'm really loving the dwarfs. They look really great, and I'm of course looking forward to using the Varank as well and painting up the Varank. I think they're going to be really lots of fun on the table as well as painting. Super excited for that. So I think as soon as I get those Warcrow models, I'm going to be painting them up as fast as I can. Now, to step aside from Corvus Belli things, there is a game that has come up on my radar a little bit, just because it's so weird and interesting and just weird, and that's Turnip 28, which is post-apocalyptic Napoleonic game with peasant armies which are root vegetables. So like you have literally these turnip soldiers fighting one another and things, and there's just like weird stuff that they can do, like eat one another and cannibalize your own army and stuff for buffs and things. It's like really weird and really narrative in a really weird world, and I kind of just dig that. I'm kind of like, because I've been playing with Blender as well, and I don't really know how practical it's going to be for me to actually do this, but I would love to make a potato army of like these weird potatoes that are kind of in armor or in like peasant gear and carrying muskets and carrying spears and things. I think that would be just kind of really cool. So I think I might use that as an excuse, and then like if they look fugly, it works, you know. I don't have to be super clean with the Blender work that way. It would be kind of an interesting thing to maybe try if I get any free time to do so. But if you are interested in seeing what it's like a little bit, the thing that kind of got me interested in it was a video from Brother Alpha Booster. He's the guy who did the text-to-speech Emperor videos, which are hilarious if you've never seen them. They're absolutely brilliant. But he did this battle report, this narrative battle report, and it is really funny and really good, and I recommend just checking it out. It's really cool. I'll leave a link in the description or up in the corner there somewhere right now. Yeah, really cool. Turnip 28. Love it. It's looking really sorted, so check that out. Okay, jumping into a little bit on Kickstarters. Now, I'm just going to talk about one thing. It's not actually on Kickstarter yet, but I think it's coming soon, and that is the Don't Starve board game. It's not strictly a miniature war game or anything like that, or miniatures game, although I think the Kickstarter is going to include possibly models that you can paint up and things like that. But I really enjoyed the video game Don't Starve. I think it's had a really fun game. I'm terrible at it, but I enjoy it. And the reason I'm kind of interested in this one is that the company making it, Looking Glass Studios, already backed their Apex Legends game, and they also did the Frostpunk board game. When they make a board game based on a video game, it's like super accurate to the way the game plays, the way the video games play and the lore and everything like that. So for that reason, I'm kind of excited to see how they've adapted Don't Starve into a board game. So I'll be kind of watching that one. I don't think I'm going to back it. And if I do, I'll probably do a lower pledge and not worry about models so much and just have the acrylic standees. I don't really want a big Kickstarter anymore. I'm done with big Kickstarters for the time being. But a little board game might be interesting, and if it's simple enough to understand, maybe it's something also my daughter can enjoy now that she's starting to get a bit older. Might be something fun for the family. But yeah, I'm kind of interested in that. Otherwise, I haven't really been following much in the way of Kickstarters at the moment. I'm trying to avoid it as best as I can. All right, we're going to jump into some Discord painting, community painting that I've got going on. Sorry, guys, I haven't been able to share a lot of your work over the months, but I'll just share a few little recent ones that we've had up. Starbuck Viper is always posting. He's painting so many things. It's really, really great. So thank you very much, Starbuck. And he's got the Skaven Tide set, and he's basically pretty much finished with painting all the Skaven already, which is insane. And so I really, really liked his kind of grey seer that he painted up. That was really, really cool. And he got the I guess it's the Vermin Lord or whatever it is, riding the big rat beast thing. That was pretty cool. And he's got these lovely greens all shining through. And he went through the clan rats at supersonic speed, very grimy, very grim darky kind of style. It was very, very cool. He's also been doing a lot of Lord of the Rings stuff as well. So those are looking really, really cool. So just an amazing amount of output from Starbuck. Nice work, sir. Nice work. Then we had Hey It's Bren as well, who paints a wonderful job on Infinity models. And recently he did some tech coffins, which are like some of the strategy markers kind of in Infinity. Is a particular type of strategy marker that you might have in the ITS missions that we use. He's done a fantastic job on those. They look really, really solid, and they all look great on the table. He also fairly recently did a Toha scale, and that one's really, really cool as well. It's just a shame the Toha aren't really getting much love at the moment from Corvus Belli. They're kind of being put to the side, stuck out back, old Yeller style, I think. But this paint job was really, really nice. I really dig it. It was lovely. Then a new one for our channel as well, but he's been someone who's been coming to my streams quite a lot and really appreciate it. And he's got his own stream as well, so you might want to check that one out. And that's the Bald GM. And yeah, for St. Patrick's Day, he did this lovely little leprechaun here riding on a barrel. He does a lot of like 3D printing and painting and things like that. A really fun guy. I really recommend going and checking out his streams. They're lots of fun. Then we had White Wolf 131 as well, and he also got the Skaven Tide box set, and he was taking a little bit of time just figuring out his color schemes. His Skaven are pretty cool with like these lovely green lumps that are growing everywhere, kind of weird stone embedded in their bodies and stuff. There's really nasty fellas. But I really like his Stormcast. He's gone for this lovely kind of silver with a little bit of gold in there, and then these wonderful green cloaks. Really, really dig them. They're really lovely. A lovely choice of colors. I think they balance really, really nicely. So nice work. Otherwise, I've just got my work that I've been working on, and since the last time I did one of these videos, which was a while ago, I have done a fair amount, but the main highlights of the things I've been doing I've obviously painted up all of my Hegemony of Embersig, and I've painted up all of my Northern Tribes models. I've also been doing a little bit of commission work, and so I've got a few models that I've been painting up to get a little bit of funding in to spend on more models for myself. Whee! So I've been having quite a lot of fun with this. I got to paint this lovely wizard and this cleric and this really cool knight as well. I had a lot of fun painting these. Went for a little bit more of a brighter kind of color scheme, a bit World of Warcrafty, especially for the knight, and I think they came out pretty well. They were fun. I also got to do a couple of Blood Bowl models as well, so they were really, really good. One of them's like an alternative sculpt and things, and then the other one is Hackflem Shuttle Spike, I think his name is. And I really enjoyed painting these. It gave me a chance to do some true metallic metals, and yeah, just something a little bit different, and yeah. It was great. It was great. Those are kind of the main things that I've been up to these days. I've also, I've also been working on my Torchlight Brigade, so a few more models are getting painted or have been painted. I still haven't done the bases for any of them, but they're looking pretty cool. They just take a long time, to be honest. Finally, today I want to just give a channel shout out to Brushmaster 66. If you haven't checked out his videos, he's a really top-notch painter, and has these lovely little tutorials that often he gets from his streams and things, but otherwise he just has a really, really nice way of teaching, and he's just a real quality painter. You can also catch him on stream all the time as well, so he's on Twitch doing that. I do recommend going and checking him out. He's a great guy to follow. Really like his tutorials, really like his live streams, really nice. But yeah, that's about it. There we go. A little shout out at the end there. Otherwise, that is the monthly miniature roundup, or seasonally miniature roundup. I'll try and be back next month as well to talk about anything else that's coming out and things that are exciting me. Let me know what's exciting you in the miniature world. I want to know what games are you excited for? What things should I go and check out? Yeah, please let me know down in the comments. The more you tell me about stuff, it switches me on to stuff that's going on around me. Otherwise, I kind of just put the blinkers on and just focus in on what I like. I usually follow up on recommendations, so please pop them down there. That'll be great. Otherwise, if you haven't already, please just drop a like for me. That'll be really helpful. And if you want to see more of these, just make sure you're subscribed as well. And I hope to see you next month for one of these. And as I release videos, I hope you enjoy them as well. Thank you very much. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.